everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'm here to speak to you today about the first half of October and in particular the full moon that we have coming up in Aries on the 5th. Now we still have these wonderful grand trines in operation. The grand trine in fire has been running for quite some time now, and this is between the North Node at 23 of Leo, Saturn at 22 Sagittarius, and Uranus at 27 of Aries. So if you have anything between 22 and 27 degrees of the fire signs, they are Aries, Leo or Sagittarius, this can be really inspiring for you, very creative, and particularly if you have any planets in the last few degrees of Aries, this can shift you to a whole new level of perception and understanding. So really very positive indeed. And we still have the grand trine in Earth too. We have Venus and Mars. Now what's very interesting is Venus and Mars are travelling together for this first half of October. They come together exactly on the 5th when we have our full moon, and that's at 19 degrees of Virgo. They are trine to Pluto at 17 of Capricorn, and they're both trine to Pallas Athena at 11 degrees of Taurus. So it isn't quite as tight an equilateral triangle in Earth as we had in September, but still it's operational. And if you have anything in the Earth signs between 19 and 17 degrees of Earth signs, particularly if your Earth planets are in Virgo or Capricorn, you're going to have potentially a lot of success. Even more so, I think, as we start to move through October. So very, very positive, because Earth is about manifestation, bringing all those ideas and inspirations that you've had from your grand trine in fire and making them real, making them practical in your world. So very positive background. We then have the full moon at 12:42 of Aries. That happens on the 5th of October. It happens at 11:40 a.m. in Pacific time and 7:40 p.m. UK time. This is a very strong full moon. At the time of the full moon, we have 7 planets in cardinal signs. We have the moon, Eris and Uranus in Aries. We have the Sun, Mercury and Jupiter in Libra, and we also have Pluto in Capricorn. That's 7 planets in cardinal signs, the cardinal signs being Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. So cardinal signs are about action. They're about focus. They're about setting a clear intention and achieving whatever you want to do. So they get things moving, they get projects happening, if you like. And for this full moon, which is at 12:42 of Aries, if you have anything round about 12 degrees of the cardinal signs, you might feel this very strongly. It's a very intense full moon, because not only is it the peak of the cycle, as a full moon always is, the lunar cycle coming to culmination, so you may find that where this falls in your chart, the fruits of your labour are now being seen, or a project is coming to closure or culmination. But it's intense because both the Sun and the Moon are square to Pluto at 16 of Capricorn. So this is very much about relationship, because the Moon in Aries is about me. I want to be first. I want to be the best. I want to be independent. I just want to go do things without having to consult or compromise. And yet the Sun, together with Mercury and Jupiter, in fact, are in Libra. And that's about us. It's about compromise and cooperation and harmony and fairness and justice and keeping the balance in the relationship. And because both of those luminaries are squared by Pluto, that brings the power dynamic into relationship. Is one partner much more powerful than the other, or is there some degree of control, or that sort of thing in the relationship? So if you have anything round about 12-13 degrees of the cardinal signs, you may be feeling this in relationship, particularly if this is falling in your 5th or your 7th houses. So it's also about how you handle power yourself. Do you tend to give away your power? Or are you overly controlling on other people? So it's quite a time of reassessment, I think, around power. At full moons, very often we see things being revealed. There's a light being shone and things are revealed. And that may be the case particularly at this full moon, because with Pluto involved in that T-square, Pluto is about secrets. In Capricorn, it's about government secrets or corporate secrets or people in power, people holding power, about any corruption or criminal activity or anything underhand coming to light at this full moon. So we will see what comes about, what manifests in early October. We have another beautiful aspect at this time. In fact, it's running all the way up until spring 2019, and it's coming together in exact semi-square 7 times. I believe this is the second of the 7th occasions when this happens, but it's a semi-square between Uranus at 27 of Aries and Neptune at 12 of Pisces. Now, we had this aspect in the mid-60s, and there was a spiritual revolution then that I think we're all well aware of. We are also undergoing a spiritual revolution now. Many people are experiencing big shifts in consciousness, and this aspect can only help us. Because Neptune is the most spiritual of planets. It's about miracles and healing and unconditional love and the oneness of all things. Uranus is often referred to as the mind of God. It's the higher octave of Mercury. It's connected to the superconscious. It's very much connected to vibration as well. So this is a time running up until spring 2019 when I think we'll see a lot of emphasis on vibrational healing, energy healing, alternative healing of all kinds. And it will continue this spiritual revolution, this shift of consciousness that many of us are feeling right now. In a mundane sense, this is really interesting. I mean, there's a connection to the earth, very much connecting to the earth's magnetism and healing that way through literally having bare feet on the grass. That's free and a wonderful way to heal yourself very rapidly, in fact. It sucks inflammation out of the body. But if we're thinking about, for instance, next May, we have Chiron moving from Pisces into Aries. That could bring about also some new healing modalities or new methods of healing in some way. So it's going to boost this semi-square between Uranus and Neptune. Next May also, Uranus moves from Aries into Taurus. Taurus is about agriculture and natural resources. And already with this Uranus-Neptune semi-square, we're seeing some real revolutions happening in that area. For instance, in the Netherlands in particular, they're growing beautiful organic vegetables in big warehouses using different coloured lights for the optimum growth of the vegetables, because each plant or vegetable needs a different vibration, if you like, a different coloured light to achieve optimum growth most quickly. So that is a wonderful expression of this Uranus-Neptune square, Neptune being very associated with light and Uranus very associated with vibration. I actually write quite a lot about this aspect, many more manifestations of it in my revised first book, You Don't Really Believe in Astrology, Do You? Then the big news of the month is that Jupiter moves into Scorpio on the 10th of October. It will stay in Scorpio until November 2018 because it stays about a year or so in each sign. This is very good news if you have your sun, your moon, or your ascendant in Scorpio, because Jupiter tends to bring success and abundance and expansion into whatever it touches. So it's going to expand the qualities of Scorpio. So what are those qualities of Scorpio? Well, Scorpio in one aspect is about sex and intimacy, so we might see more of those topics coming to the fore. At a deeper level, it's very much about the spiritual, digging deep into spiritual law, getting to the bottom of things. So this is very much shining the light on things like reincarnation, past lives. In my new book, How to Co-Create Using the Secret Language of the Universe, which is focused on your nodal axis in your birth chart, inevitably that's leading us to consider our own past lives and what that means for us in this soul context. it will expand an interest potentially in psychology and also in the alternative vibrational healing that I've just been talking about with Neptune semi-square Uranus aspect too. So they both reinforce each other. Now, Scorpio also has some other connections. It's very much the sign of transformation, often through intense emotions and feelings, but it is ultimately the sign of transformation. Also, it's connected to debt and taxes, so we may see an expansion in those areas. And I think what's very interesting, again, if we go back to our Uranus going into Taurus next May, Taurus is about the banking system and finance. So we might see, possibly from this October, but even more so from next May, because Jupiter will still be in Scorpio, Uranus entering Taurus, we could see quite a series of major changes or revolutions in the economic, banking and financial systems. Scorpio is also a water sign. Now, Jupiter in Scorpio is very connected to recycling. And thinking of Chiron in Pisces, that's very much polluted water, and it's kind of water issues, water in the wrong place, too much water, not enough water, water you can't drink, not clean water. But Jupiter in Scorpio is about recycling, cleaning up our oceans. So over the next year or so, I think we'll see many, many new ideas coming into that area of how we clean up our seas and our oceans and how we make clean drinking water much more accessible to everyone. Then just in the middle of the month, we have Mars at 26 of Virgo opposing Chiron at 26 of Pisces. Now this can be because we've had such an emphasis recently of planets in Virgo, and Virgo is the sign of hard work. So if you've really been feeling that you've been working incredibly hard, incredibly long hours, I know I have, just be aware in the middle of October, on the 15th to be exact, there could be a feeling of, gosh, I'm completely overwhelmed with all I've had to do. So consciously be aware of that and step back. Sit in nature for a while. Breathe. Take some time out if you know that's coming up and it's aspecting something in your chart particularly. So a lot going on in October. I think that the energy almost builds as we get towards the end of the year. There's a great deal happening as Saturn moves into Capricorn in December as well, but more of that in later videos. If you don't know where these aspects are that I've talked about in your chart, just check out this link appearing above me here, and you can get a 2-part video series that people are just so enjoying, because it will explain everything you need to know to understand what this means for you and your chart and your life with every update I ever do. As many of you know, I just released a new book, How to Co-Create, which I've just mentioned. Links for that to Amazon and to my website are below, plus the links to the accompanying video series as well, plus my republished first book that is out in the world again too. So thanks so much for listening. All of the detail of my available products is on my products page, pamgregory.com. And thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful full moon in Aries on the 5th. Bye for now.